I'm going to turn this budget caravan behind me. It's pretty much just a box with a bed inside into a full off-grid, family-friendly van. And I'm going to do it all here at home, DIY spec. I thought cutting the hole in the side of my caravan was scary. I bought this budget caravan a few years ago with the idea of making family camping super easy. It hasn't really done that. It's pretty much just a box with a bed inside, so I always have to go places where there's water and power available because it doesn't have any of that on board. Now, to transform this van into a family-friendly off-grid van, I want to do a few things, actually a fair few things. To start with, just cosmetically, I think this is going to modernise the van. All this checker plate and that silver galvanised chassis, I'm going to wrap to black. I think that'll modernise the van a heck of a lot. One really cool thing I'm actually a little bit scared about doing, but I think it'll be worth it, is in here, I want to cut a hole in the side of the caravan and put a pull-out kitchen in. So a sink, maybe a bit of a cooktop, you know, just have cutlery and a few things out here that you always need. Inside though is where all the hard work is going to be. Bit of a van tour for you guys. We're going to change up the inside a fair bit. So this is the current seating area. Obviously we need some bunks, so we're going to put bunks along here. Straight into, we're going to have a shower inside here. Remove the fridge, there'll be a little small area left there, and that's going to be a bit of a wardrobe cupboard situation. Over here we're going to have a full height fridge freezer. The bed, obviously it's pretty ghetto now. It's actually a bed frame. It's quite rocky, so we're going to make this lift up and box out there. So we're going to have a slide out kitchen that goes out under the bed. Obviously a fair bit more dead space under this, so hopefully all the 12 volt setup will then go underneath the bed. Obviously fix up these cupboards where they've been chopped off and taped up and stuff. So I've definitely got my work cut out for me in here, but I think it's going to be worth the hard work at the end. It's going to be so functional, and I'm just going to be able to go off grid. I'm not going to be limited to places where I can camp, or how long I can camp if I do put a good 12 volt system and some solar on the top. Anyway, I'm keen to get this done, and I'm super keen to get back out with the family and go camping and try it all out. Now, let's start ripping this caravan apart. The back of the van is now pretty stripped. The whole bed is out. Up here though, I discovered a couple of little nasties. There was a bit of wood rot in and around the edges here, and I think it's from this penetration here where the wiring has gone through. And then also this side here, there's a bit of wiring here and wiring there, so I may have to just go around the outside and check all that. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. This side over here is all sweet. No damage there, but there's definitely some damage there. So I'll continue to pull some things off. Next up, I'm going to pull the whole fridge section out because that's where I'm going to put the shower and then all the sort of seating there. It's unfortunate, I don't know where to sit down and have smoke on it anymore. As you can see, she's a bit more stripped out now. All this section's gone, and it feels like there's a hell of a lot of space in here now. Obviously it's going to get filled up again quickly, but I'm super keen to maybe even tape some layouts on the floor. The trouble with the Caravan is they're made from the outside, from the inside out pretty much. You know, they do all the fit out, and then the last thing to go on is the wall sheets. That means when you're pulling them apart, everything is screwed on from the other way. Perfect example right here behind me. I've just pulled this old cupboard off, and as you can see, the screws come through from there. But up the top, you can't get to them. So a lot of these old cupboards and stuff, I thought I'd pull them out and reuse them, but they're so difficult to get off because everything's screwed from the other way. I tried one of those little renovator tools and go behind it, but then you wreck the wall behind it, so it's like, it's real tricky. Very time consuming if you're just going to be doing a reno from that to that. So yeah, it is what it is. We'll keep plodding along. This caravan build is going to be a massive job. So first things first is getting all the parts, and there's one stop shop for that. The Camec website here. One of them, actually I'm going to need two of them. Probably one of them, they're pretty cool. Definitely one of them, I reckon. Oh, they're really cool too. And one of them, I reckon. Got a bit of a mess going on inside here, as you can see. Bit of progress, but obviously this is where the bathroom's going to be. But the drama we have is the wheel arch. So you can see the shower's going to be up there, which isn't going to give me enough height. And also over here in the kitchen. But this wheel arch here is substantially high. Obviously it is about 240 mil high. And this is where, if I go outside, we're actually going to cut these down probably about 140 mil. As you can see, underneath here, it's full off-road independent, but it's leaf spring. But the up trouble there is is actually pretty limited. Here's the bump stop. We've got to the bump stop, we've probably got about 90 mil, and then to the bottom, if the bump stop was to come off, we've got about 120. So, go to the outside here, and what we've got to the bottom of the Caravan there is about 140. So, then if we stick this up into the Caravan, their measurement is about 150 to that rubber lip there. So what I'm going to do, obviously inside the wheel arch is up about here, we're going to cut that down to make the shower lower and have more space under the fridge. As you can see, I'll put something over the top. There's actually still around 160 mil of wheel travel, and the Caravan's only got about 80 to 100 mil of up travel, so there's plenty of extra room there. Could have gone lower, but it would have to change the outside of the Caravan. What that means now is that is the floor height for the shower tray and for the toilet. So it's much nicer height. I can now stand there, and I have a little bit of room above my head. Now, I'm not the tallest guy, but everyone in my family is shorter than me, and that's higher than the shower tray is going to be. So, got about 100 mil clearance. How good's that? Bit of an update. I got a little bit carried away and didn't film a great deal, but the kitchen setup is in. We'll have the sink here, and then there'll be a little cupboard here. Ranger will be in the little cupboard that we've got up there, and then we'll have the Camac induction cooktop. And then the fridge here, and on top of the fridge, we are gonna have a little air fryer microwave thing. So you sort of walk in the door, and then I did think about putting the fridge down there beside the bed, but my reasoning was the fridge opened this way. So you can open the fridge when you're cooking here, grab your bacon and eggs, start cooking up on here. So yeah, it should all be pretty cool. These other windows in my Caravan, they're actually not glass, they're plastic here. And the trouble with that is, one, it can get brittle in the sun, and two, once you go down a few tight tracks, they get heaps of scratches from trees. Obviously, they do have a built-in fly screen, which is okay, but it's really tricky to replace. I've had to do that before. And they don't come with a blind either, so I've had to go to a shop and just buy a house blind, but the trouble is, they always jam up. They don't want to go up or down, and when you're traveling, they just flop around. So I thought, perfect time, I've got the Caravan apart. I'm going to put in something that does all those three things in one. So I'm going to get stuck in, rip this window out. New Camac window is fitted up to the van. Now they've got some pretty cool features, these things. They are double glazed, and the bit I really like compared to my old windows is obviously the window's open and I can, you know, accessibility is great. But if there's some Aussies around, look at this. Built-in mosquitoes or some nosy neighbours. See ya. Getting pretty exciting now. We're down to the layout of the kitchen. I've obviously got the fridge and air fryer microwave mounted up. Now it's time for the range hood and the induction. First things first, I'm going to cut these holes. I've marked them out. Hopefully I've measured them right. Oh, I went a bit outside the lines there. Hopefully that's the right size. Oh, it's a tiny bit tight on the top, which is okay. Easy to go bigger. After a bit of cutting, the kitchen top is good to go in. That's good, didn't go through. You've probably seen, or probably even heard, someone on the outside of the Caravan. I've got my mate Zach over helping, and I've given him a pretty good job. It's his job to sand down and prep all the aluminium on the outside for paint. Thanks, Zach! This is the check plate. Before we get too much further into this kitchen, it's time to replace this window. And after a few little touch-ups, the window was in. Bit of the theme of the Caravan, as you can see, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We've got the new window in, where we've got the fridge and the air fryer and this wall out again. I've got these stick-on tiles for the splashback, but I have to stick them on down here and up the side before we put this window piece on. Yeah, I think this is gonna speed up the process and it should look pretty good.
Mate, what have you done here?
You think it'd be pretty easy. Look, maybe it's like a jigsaw, it lines up, but somewhere when I cut around the window, I stuffed it up, so now my sheet doesn't work. Look at that. I've either got to cut it here or cut it there, and these are meant to not be cut. So, yeah, obviously I'm not good at Lego. Up the top here, this isn't completely finished, bear with me, but the vision is shelf up the top, so when it's pop top and I'm cooking, I can put stuff up the top, and in here, pretty much like a condiments rack. I'm thinking like a little 100ml picker, sauces, salts, peppers, spices, all that sort of thing. And yeah, this little space here, had to have this here to run some wires and ducting and stuff, but I'm thinking a little Caravan plant there will be pretty cool. It's just, it amazes me how many things I didn't know you could get for Caravan till I went for a walk through Camac. If you're keen to know any of the specs of the gear I'm using in my van build, there's going to be a link in the description of this video with all the links to the products on the Camac website. Just lifted the slide-out kitchen in, looks pretty flash. Obviously the bed's going to go over the top of this. Bed frame is pretty much sorted. I just haven't put the slats in yet because we're still mounting this kitchen up, and I've got to wait till I mount the hot water service, but you can get the gist of it. The frame goes in here, and I've sort of framed up around each edge. This is probably my favourite bit. This is the back of the bed here, and it's actually on hinges. So what it'll do is when you need access under the bed, you can hinge this up. Battery's going to be under here, inverter, solar, controller, hot water service there, outdoor kitchen here. I'm going to box this in. And a little something I learned when I did some research the other day, you actually have to box in your lithium batteries and vent them to the external atmosphere. So that's one thing I learned I'll be able to do. Just another little job to add to the list. Now, I used to be a plumber and I do love a little bit of DIY work, but if DIY isn't your thing, but you still want to give your Caravan a little bit of a spruce up, don't worry, there's plenty of Camac dealers around the country that can do exactly that for your Caravan. Also, all the Camac stores, the people that work in there have heaps and heaps of years of industry experience. I know throughout the build, I've been into Camac a couple of times, and just talking to those people gives you so many little ideas, and they've got heaps of tips and tricks making your Caravan renovation so much easier. This is the new door from Camac. The old one, it was just a little bit sad. It leaked and let a heap of dust in. This one's got a really good sealing system. All I've got to do though is here isn't sealed that good. We're gonna have to seal up that. A bit of wood right here, and water's been getting in, so I'll make sure we do a better job at sealing it. But the unfortunate thing is, it's actually about 65mm high, so I'm gonna probably cut to this line. I've run the renovator tool up each side there. Oh, have a look at this. There's actually a beam right where it needs to be, right where I chopped. A couple of screws there I'm gonna have to chop off, but that is the new height of the door. I think that's probably the only job in the history of this Caravan renovation that's worked out to be easier than I thought. I'll chop this alloy out now and just test fit the door. It does fit in. I'm gonna leave it out though, just until we do our, obviously, raptoring around here. The van's gonna look a lot more modern. Obviously, the white's gonna stay, but adding a heap more black and getting rid of this alloy checker plate and the silver chassis. The van is all taped up and prepped thanks to Zach. I've wiped it down with a bit of wax and grease. What I've got to do now is I've actually got to get some Sikaflex and go around all these spots. They used to be filled up with silicone down in here, you can see. Paint doesn't stick to silicone, so if we paint it over, it just wouldn't stick and the clear silicone would come through and look all yuck. But you can paint at the top of Sikaflex. The van is now all Sikaflexed up, as you can see. Excuse the mess, it's a bit of a work site at the moment. Good little trick to know if you've actually shaken it up enough. You're going to see dents in the bottom of the can from the marble or ball bearing in there. Moment of truth. Raptor, very nozzle gun. In we go. It's all done now. Had a bit of a debacle. I just poured some hardener in the paint and it did start to rain. It's a bit later in the evening, as you can see, but have a look at how good that come up. Nice and textured. Hide any blemishes in the old checker plate. Now the really satisfying part, peeling off this. Look at this. That is awesome. How good does that look? I just peeled off all the masking tape. You can see the black Raptor on the bottom of the van, and I reckon that black against the white looks really, really modern. This van, I think it just got 5 years younger. That is a massive milestone in the Caravan build. Thanks for coming along with me. I tell you what, it's been a ton of fun and a little bit trickier than I thought. Make sure you tune in next time when we get this thing completely finished. It is going to be an off-grid camping weapon. But if you guys reckon I forgot to put anything in, or you want me to add something to the build, chuck it in the comments down below and I'll see if I can fit it in the next ep for you. Until then though, I'm going to get back to work. See you next time.